Jana here with Jana's Quilt Shop. Well, it's Potholder Friday, and I got a good one for you. Look up here at this turkey. It's almost time for Thanksgiving. We have time to make these, give them as gifts. If we go somewhere, we can give them to the hostess, or we can give them out at our own parties. But look at that cute little turkey. Coral on the back. Let's make sure he stays up here for us. Let's pin him a little better. I like to put him up there, then I can see him when I'm working. That's always a good idea. I pin my blocks up there where I can see. Okay, so you got a turkey applique, the A word, applique on top of that block. But it didn't take but a few seconds to do that. Here's what you're going to need. A piece of coral for the back, regular cotton batting, then the insulate batting, the batting that has the shiny side that keeps the heat out. And then you're going to need to make your top piece. So you're going to need the big brown square in the corner. You're going to need the background fabric square up there at the top corner. And then you're going to need to make these pieces in here, which are half squares. There's one there, one there, one there, one there. So you're going to need gold and background fabric, coral and background fabric, and you're going to need green and background fabric to make that. Then you're going to need your applique template, which I have made, designed, and that little, there it is, the little piece, the little beak piece keeps getting away from me. It gets hit under stuff, it flies off, but you need a gold for the beak right here. You need the brown grunge for the body, and you've got the template there in my pattern. You need the red for the wattle. The wattle is this piece down underneath there for the turkey. You're going to need two little bitty teeny buttons for the black eyes. Look at that, isn't that cute? You're going to need thread to match to do your applique stitching. And you're going to need some heat bond light, which if you haven't used this, it's paper on one side and glue on the outside. You can feel the glue. So to do a pattern, you're just going to lay it on, and I cut my pattern templates out so that I can just trace around them. So I lay it on the paper side of my heat bond light. Okay, and so I hold it down so I don't draw on the pattern and I can get a cut around. Okay, so that's there. Put my pencil over here. Okay, come on. All right, get that wattle. I just chunked the wattle out because I don't want a lot of extra glue on there. Just chunk those pieces out. You could use those for the beak part probably because I use all my scraps of my heat bond. Okay, so we got the wattle. You're going to pick your red, and on the wrong side of it, you're going to lay the glue side down of this piece of heat bond light. And I'm going to go in here and iron that on. My iron is good and hot, so I'm going to lay it on here and count to 5, okay? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's all it takes to glue that on. We don't want to over iron it so the glue comes off. So that's what we do. So then you're going to then cut around your lines where you've drawn that off, up your wattle there. And I usually use my Karen K Buckley scissors. They have serrated edges. But this is a real quick project. But if I'm doing very much applique at all, I use my Karen K Buckley scissors. Okay, here's this. You kind of bend it up and you can get the paper off the back. And see, there comes the paper and it leaves a shiny glue on the back. See that? You can feel it and tell which is right or wrong. So you do that on all 3 of your pieces to make your turkey. I've already got the glue on this, so that'll be ironed down first. And then you add your wattle and then your beak. So there's that. Okay, so to make our half squares, if you've not made these before, you put right sides together of your 2 squares that you want to sew. So I'm doing the green. I have a background square and a green square. It's going to yield me both of those. And so if you don't have this tape that I use to get my lines when I sew, you will need to mark a diagonal right down the middle of that. But since I do use the tape, I'll show you how to use it. So it's got a center line, a 1/4 inch on the right and a 1/4 on the left. That's exactly what I want to do on this. I want to sew the 1/4 inch to the right of that line and a 1/4 inch to the left. So I'm going to start doing the left side, and I'm keeping my point of my fabric on that 1/4 inch line there. So I'm going to go straight on up to this other one. My tape is already wearing off. I use it so much. So you get to that edge, and then you turn it and sew the other edge. So then you're going to cut that in half down your marked line, and you get two of these. Press it. I'm not going to go through all that because of time for the video, but you will get two of those. And then you can see I've already gotten these. You press to the dark side, and you will have this piece right here. So you go and lay them out. You put your coral, turn that away. Your gold, you have to watch now. You can use the pattern template to get those laid right. And then your greens will lay in like this. And you'll put your other green over here. And you see you'll sew this row, and you'll sew these two together. So once you get those two together, you will sew those two onto the brown strip. They will fit good. The brown square, I mean. You will sew those two on, press it, and then you will sew this row on, and you've got that whole center part done. See that? Isn't that neat? You get that center part, it will look like that with our green square there. You will look at it, center it, and iron your turkey on. You can position it as low as you want. If you want him down here, you just got to make sure to remember your binding is going to sew on there. So iron your turkey down, do the 5 second count, and then what I do is I go ahead and lay these on. I haven't done my beak yet, but it will go on top with the gold fabric. So you measure, iron that, take that to the ironing board, iron that down, and then the last step is to glue the eyes on. So the next step I would do is, you've got in our kits, you have this striped brown for the binding. It's cut 2.5 inches. You fold it in half and press it, and then you sew it double like that to the right side. I started down here in the bottom right corner, made a turn, went around and sewed my binding on. Isn't that cute? Then I used what was left over to make my little tie there at the top, or hanger, whatever you want to call it, to hang it up. And that way I can use it either as a pot holder, or I can hang it whichever way I want to. I thought that was a cute little turkey. After you get all that done, you could quilt it. And what I did is I used a matching brown thread and just went around the turkey. And yes, I did this on my sewing machine. I normally quilt on my big long arm, but I quilted this on my sewing machine around that in the ditch. I started over here and just went down and turned, and then I did an X up here in that big square so that it wasn't left not quilted. And you've got that quilted. I did a matching thread on the back so you don't see the thread hardly at all back there. And then that part of it's done. So then you're going to layer it just like I have here. And, well, you already have it layered to quilt it. But let's go back and tell you how to layer it. I missed that step there. So you put your lining piece face down, your cotton batting, then your insulate batting with the shiny side up, and then your piece on top. That's how you layer it. And then you go back and quilt it, and then you've got that part done. You trim it off, put your binding on, and then you're going, the last step is I used Aleene's fabric glue, which that's what I sell here in the shop, and that's what I always use for gluing anything like that on. I've not had any trouble with any of it coming off with Aleene's fabric glue. And so I glued the 2 little eyes on. I left them overnight, and look how cute that is. Okay, I plan on making 2 or 3, 4 of these and give them away during Thanksgiving. So if I can do it, you can do it too. Remember that. All right, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Kits available of this. People always ask me if I don't do it. I do have kits of this one. It is $12, and you're going to get a big, nice pot holder like that. You're going to have the applique template pattern. You're even going to get the little buttons in there. Okay, you get the back, the binding, the whole thing, all the batting, everything we layered here, you will get in your kit to use to make yours, so you'll have it ready and be able to get it done before Thanksgiving. Okay, if you need it, comment or call us at our phone is 870-972-5543. You can call us, and while supplies last, we will have them just like that. Okay? Thank you, and have a great Friday.